Welcome back, everyone. My name is Adam, Rusmin,
Hello.
Victor.
Hi everyone.
Today, we're going to talk about Singapore banks. So a lot of you follow our channel because of Singapore banks that we talk about.
Yep.
And recently, we want to do this as a roundtable, quick one, because recently the banks held their annual general meetings, the AGMs, in April. And Victor attended OCBC and UOB, the AGMs.
Yep.
Why didn't you go to the DBS one?
Because my kid got handful mouth. So last minute I had to. I cannot go.
Totally
I had to lost all my
understandable.
kids. Yeah.
So, but usually you go to all three.
Yeah.
This year you skipped DBS.
But I managed to read the minutes for DBS so I can do some updates from there.
All right. So we're going to share with you, those who are investors in the local banks or who want to have a look at the banks, what your insights, because you went there firsthand, live in person to see what the management was talking about, any updates and insights that we can get from the AGMs. All right. So tell us a bit more.
Yeah. Firstly, I feel there's still insights, but it's less than the usual past few years because I think the banks have been doing very well. They do capital return. So everybody is very happy. You go to the AGM, the feeling is very happy.
Oh, yeah? So usually when the share price goes up, dividend goes up, no questions. When it's the other way around, all the questions are coming. Okay.
I think there's a lot of concern with the trade wars and all this. Definitely there's some questions. But I think UOB side don't have that question. DBS, I read the minutes, not much, but for the OCBC side, just before the AGM, they got this like management presentation and all this. They did talk about the trade war and the tariff and all this, right? So they said that they actually get responses from their clients, which is the businesses, on about the trade war and all this. They talk about like this trade war, right? The tariff, right? The burden will be shared among the producer, the middleman, and the brand owner, like consumer Nike. They will just everybody along the value chain will just share the cost and until the pass down and all this.
So
right?
everyone has higher prices, basically.
Yeah, they will some they will take some. They not 100%. They will share among. That's what they get from their client. That's what they think, and they also say that they expect the profitability will reduce. Not from the OCBC, but they said that the clients say that they expect their profitability reduce, and a lot of their clients are also looking to export to non-US markets. Also, and also to optimize their production optimization, right? To see how they can shift and export from countries that have less tariff to the US. But also the CFO, I think it's the CFO of the OCBC got mentioned that all this like supply chain configuration is very, very hard. It's going to take some time and all this. And he also suggests some sectors that are less affected by the tariff are like your construction, your F&B, data center and renewables, right? Especially data center, they think that the data will get more and more. It's very critical, right? And it's still there's not a lot. Don't have an import export and all this, right? So they think that this sector will all continue to maintain that well, less affected, right? So that was the thing that I get from regarding the trade tariff part, right? Yeah, of course. Some of the companies, they start off the slide presenting that they do better than the others. Like, I mean, if you go to DBS slide, DBS will tell you that they outperform all their peers, right? In terms of the total income, which is their revenue and net profit growth from 2009 until now, they outperform like UOB and OCBC, right? Then you go to OCBC, they show you, we outperform our peers, DBS and UOB, in terms of net interest margin, cost to income ratio, and NPL, right? Which you can see from here. I mean, OCBC's net interest margin is the highest at 2.2%, whereas your DBS is 2.13, UOB is like 2.03. Then the cost to income ratio, the OCBC is about 39.7%, right? Whereas DBS is like 39.9%, UOB is like 44.1%. Then in terms of NPL, OCBC is the lowest, right? 0.9%, whereas DBS is 1.1% and UOB is about 1.5%, right? So I think this is very common now when we go to, right, who want to present bad news to you? They always present the best and tell you they are better than peers. But I mean, it's good to know that which one. But UOB is the only one that never showed that, I did better, but because all they didn't do well. So that was very interesting. Yeah.
They did well, but not as well.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
as the other
yeah,
two.
yeah.
But overall, all three banks have had a good
Yeah,
year.
yeah. But I'm especially happy when I go to the UOB AGM.
Why is that?
Because they give a cash card over here, and it's $30 inside.
$30.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean usually you go AGM, I feel the value that you get from maybe food or any voucher, the max right you'll feel is about $20.
Okay.
But this time around it's like $30 inside.
It's money in a sense.
Yes, it's money. It's cash card, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So it's $30. I think I straight away message you guys. It's first time I got $30. I mean, it's very good. I mean, imagine you buy the share now. It's like $32. You buy one share to attend the AGM. You get almost 100% gain.
Yeah.
If plus the dividend, probably you get 100% return.
Yeah, this is a sure way to make money.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an interesting thing to look at it.
So UOB has the best dog gift.
Yeah. So what did OCBC give anything?
OCBC is just food only.
Just food.
just
okay.
food,
Was
yeah.
at least the food good?
Yeah. I think it's okay
hesitant,
only. I don't really like
not so good. Okay.
DBS I didn't go. So I cannot.
Those of you who attended DBS, let us know.
Let us know what your gift was for DBS.
Yeah.
So I think a $30 cash card is very generous.
Yeah, very good. I mean,
it's-
because it's sort of like they are 90 years and beyond.
Oh,
so they
okay.
hit
So
like
maybe
90
this is a
years.
one-off. Maybe
Yeah.
next year, no more cash card, man.
Yeah.
Back to food.
Yeah,
That's it.
But the whole UOB AGM is very interesting because I entered the AGM getting the cash cards and go in, right. I feel like I entered a hotel lobby.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
because there's like people I think wearing the UOB lanyard, then they wear suit, then when you go past everywhere, these people will greet you, then they will guide you.
Wow.
Then when you take, they will say thank you and all
Wow.
this. Then they will bring you to your seat and tell you where to sit.
Man.
I mean, I went to the previous UOB AGM. It was not like that.
Okay.
But this time I was like, wow, am I
like-
at a hotel or am I at
It's like
an
a
AGM?
first class experience.
Yeah. Plus with the $30, I said, wow, this is a very good one.
They are showcasing their privileged banking.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting AGM this year, because previously I think they held in another place, but now they
Okay.
held in the Sense Expo. All the three banks held in the Sense. Yeah.
Okay. So that experience at UOB was wonderful.
Wonderful. Really
Okay.
wonderful for this year.
So I guess
yeah.
if you want to give feedback to anyone from the banks who are watching this, what UOB did was fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's
That's
like-
fantastic.
I mean, when you go to a bank AGM, there's a lot of people because the biggest companies in Singapore. I'm sure a lot of people attend
Yeah.
Yeah.
the AGM. So to provide a level of care
Yeah.
is good.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
It
correct.
reflects well on the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. I think I'll just shock. I said, am I attending an AGM?
You weren't sure. I might at the wrong place.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Okay. So it was a great experience.
Yes, correct.
So they also talked about the trade war.
Yeah.
What about interest rates? I think this is going to be main thing. For
Yeah. I think a lot of people are concerned about the interest rate, right? So I think for the OCBC, they are expecting about 3 rate cuts, which most people think is about 2 rate cuts. So I think they are generally more pessimistic. The feeling that they give me is they are more cautious moving forward,
Okay.
right? That's why you see the way they return the capital, so not as much as the previous, the two other banks and all this, right? The management also expect the net interest income to be affected when the interest rate, but they say they will be offset by the loan and wealth management growth.
Okay.
Right, and they expect the wealth management to also grow on a high single digit. Right, for DBS, I read the minutes. The minutes also same thing. They also expect the loan growth and also from non-interest income and all this. Right, for OUOB, I don't think there's a question on this. So there's
Okay.
not much for that.
All right. So in general, a bit they feel the interest rates are basically cut twice, 3 times.
3 times.
I think
Yeah.
2 to 3 times,
2 to
like
3
most of the
times,
banks.
and so
Like, I think the other 2 banks previously they say about 2 times, but
Okay.
OCBC is the only one that say 3 times. So
Okay.
right, yep.
So what are your current views on the banks right now in terms of their yield and all that? Has it changed since the last time we talked about it?
I think after the tariff happens and the trade war happens and all this, the bank's share price have fallen. Right, it used to be more on the high side and fallen, but the yield now I think it's about, if I can remember, it's about maybe like 5% plus. It's still quite decent, right? As much as you are afraid of the tariff the coming, right? You want to sell the banks, but where can you put your money? Even your SSB right now is less than 3%. Right. Recently, I think the T-bill cut off was like
2.3.
2.3. Right.
Yeah.
So you got no other place to put. If you sell your banks because the share price decrease, right? But you already bought at a very good price, right? And you keep it in the bank, it don't make sense, right? Because now it's like 5%, but your bonds are all these are like less than 3%. It don't make sense to. It's opportunity cost again. So I just keep holding to the banks, collecting my dividends until maybe they get very good and the valuation get very high. Then it start trimming the banks.
All right.
Right.
So basically, nothing has changed. It's not exactly so expensive that you would sell. It hasn't gone down so much that you'll buy more.
Yeah,
You're just sitting around, sitting pretty, collecting your dividends.
correct. Actually, got one period
Yeah.
of the trade war, just one day only. I
Yeah.
think. I think OCBC or sort of hit close to the 6% mark. Very
In
close.
terms of yield. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 5.8 or 5.9%. Right. That was just happened for I think one day only.
Okay.
After that, I think Trump said certain things, they just reverse and everything.
Okay.
Right. So if you have missed that one day, then
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a very attractive time. I would say 6% for a bank is very attractive. Yeah.
So at this point, you're just
Not-
sitting pretty.
Nothing changed. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think especially OCBC and DBS, they talk a lot about their wealth management and they expect it to grow. So also DBS, I look at the minutes, they expect the wealth management to grow like double digit this coming 2025. So I think these two banks in terms of wealth management are focusing very well. For UOB, I think there's a question regarding them dispose one of their China bank, right? And the CEO actually says that they want to focus back to Asian ASEAN markets, right? And that is their core. And they always believe in the ASEAN markets. So they want to focus back on the ASEAN markets. And the CEO actually mentioned very interesting thing is that we want to profit from China, but not in China.
Oh. Okay.
Right? Because we do not have the competitive advantage in China.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to focus on our core region. And it's very clear among the three banks, they are all in different region.
Yeah.
And UOB has always been focusing on the ASEAN regions and they stay very focused and I think they are very clear and very conservative.
Yes.
Right. I think this is a bank that you know that regardless of what crisis this bank will still survive on UOB. Right. And also I also asked them questions regarding their integration of the Citibank, the ASEAN region that they acquire. I mean the previous year they already said that they integrated 2 countries already. I think it's Malaysia and Indonesia. Then they left with Thailand and Vietnam. So Thailand one they already integrated this. So now this year they will start integrating Vietnam. So the CEO also mentioned that they actually took the much prudent approach to integration. Right? They can one shot integrate everything, but they didn't. They will take one by one integrate, and while integrating, they learn instead of one go. Then after a lot of problems and all this, right? So I think generally, UOB is a much conservative type of companies which I think is good characteristic for banks also.
Yeah, that's my feel when I went to the UOB AGM myself last year. Yeah, that they're a bit more conservative, but it's a good thing. Yeah, like you said, it's a good thing for a bank. Yeah, and certain investors prefer that.
Yeah, it's correct.
For their investments as well. That this company is a bit more kiasu, a bit more kiasi.
Yeah, correct.
Put it that way.
Yeah, but I would say they're also more focused. They know that they maybe cannot compete with the other 2 banks in terms of like China thing, then they do focus more on ASEAN. Right, but if you look in terms of OCBC, they are also very into Greater China. DBS also increased their stake in the Shenzhen Rural Commercial Banks, right? And which is going to undertake IPO. In fact, they increased the stake to about 19.4%. So they are also quite bullish on the Shenzhen Bank that they actually have stake in. And of course, like OCBC is also very into the Greater China also. So I don't think UOB want. I feel that they know their place and they know where their strength is, and they just focus on their strength.
Yeah. And they've been doing really well with events. Yeah. The events like the concerts.
Yeah.
Musicals as well.
Yeah. So shareholder also bring up that they did very well on this and one shareholder actually praised the CEO and said that thanks to the OCBC, I think one of the credit card
so this is OCBC, is it?
UOB, one of the credit card, then she managed to get the tickets for I think
Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga.
No, I think it's Sun Yanzi or Lin Junqi. I can't remember which one. Yeah. So I think that one, I think the other banks really lose to them in terms of that credit card.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
That is, but they also know their game plan. They are strong in this. But the CEO also got mentioned that they also will try to move more into the wealth management also, right? So that's why they open a lot of one of the shareholders actually asked about why did they open office in in South Korea, right? Then the CEO said, actually, we have a lot of office in different regions like Europe, Japan, all this. This is what we call foreign direct investment. So we put our office there not to open and compete with the people out there, is to attract the people to come to ASEAN to invest, right? So that is always been their strategy, trying to pull the money flow to ASEAN, right? So that is their game plan.
Yeah, because that's basically the turf that they want to play in.
Yes, correct.
bring the
Yeah, so they are very clear. Okay. Then another thing is about the OCBC is I think there's also a rumor that they want to sell the headquarter, the Chulia Street, the headquarter,
building.
right? The
OCBC
building, right?
Towers.
Yeah, OCBC building, right?
Yeah.
So the management actually say that, like every management, right, they every time always want to look at how to improve the assets of the assets that they own, right? So they just did a study on that building, but I don't know why people take it as they want to sell the building, right? They say they will never sell the building, okay, because that is designated as a national heritage.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic.
It's
So
part of the
they
skyline,
won't sell, and that property is freehold. They say that if we sell it, we still have to go and rent, right?
Yeah.
So they are not going to sell that place lah. So that
Yeah. Would they
kills
ever redevelop it? Nothing of that. Did they
not-
talk anything
not
about
at this
that?
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in this moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, the OCBC building is just part of the skyline. It's very recognizable.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to sell it.
That's the freehold property.
Yeah.
The other two at the side, right,
Yeah.
is actually leasehold
Okay.
with 42 years left. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is one of the few good properties that they own.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think there's a pretty good. There's a lot of information on OCBC and UOB.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
you don't. If you're not there,
Yeah.
you don't really. You could read the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a different experience when you go there live and you kind of listen to what's happening, get the vibe.
Yep.
And for those of you who have never been to an AGM, and if you have the time that allows you to do so, we recommend just going down to one or two of your favorite companies.
Yeah.
And just maybe you could get like a $30 cash card, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Get a free meal. But it's a great way to learn about investment and the people
Yeah.
who are managing your investment.
Yeah.
Because then, that's a good.
One thing I forgot to mention about the US dollar, I think now a lot of concern because of the US dollar devalue. So there's questions regarding this on the bank also. So OCBC actually said their four main currencies, the US dollar, Hong Kong, Singapore dollar, and Malaysian ringgit. So they actually say that their currency are hedged, and some of the currencies are naturally hedged. Right. So for UOB, they say that they don't have any large net open exposure position to the US dollar. Okay. DBS, I looked through the minutes. I didn't really see any people asking about the US dollar thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I think because it was their AGM was way earlier than these two.
Before
all these things happened.
Because there's so many things happening.
Yes, correct.
In the US right now.
Yeah. So they don't have that questions during the AGM. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's a pretty good wrap up of the AGMs that you attended. Like I said, I think it's really insightful. If you go in person, you really learn nuances when you're there. If you have the time, maybe go do it for yourself. All right, so Victor, you do it every year for the banks. You follow them very closely. So again, no recognition by yourself. You're just a shareholder, investor. You're going there to learn. And you're sharing what you learn with all of you who are watching this. All right. So with that, is there anything else?
Nope.
Okay. My name is Adam. Rusmin, he just sat here.
Thank you.
And Victor, who attended the AGMs, he shared that all the insights with you.
He did all the work.
All right. So with that, if you have any questions, you can always put them in the comment section and we'll forward them to Victor if there's anything that you want to ask him. Please like this roundtable and of course subscribe. Many more roundtables coming up, and we'll see you again.